Hello everyone, I am Udit Gupta. Welcomes you all to the another series of the podcast powered by the Growjunction. Today, I welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Arghadeep Ghosh, who has done his MBA from IMT Ghaziabad and is currently working as a product manager at OYO. Hello sir, how are you?
Hi, Udit. I am fine. Thanks for the intro.
So sir, how was your day? Like how it went? So,
Yeah, it was good. I mean, weekend, so it was fine. I mean, just reflecting back on my on last week and then planning for the week ahead. Yeah, it was good only.
great to hear. So let me just begin with the very common question which we MBA people have gone through innumerable times. So sir, can you just tell us something about yourself? Like can you let all of us go through your journey right from your schooling days till now, how it has been and how it went?
Yeah, sure. So Udit, I come from Kolkata. So I completed my schooling from Kolkata only, and then I did my engineering. I did my BTech from West Bengal University of Technology (WBT) with a specialization in IT. And after that, I worked at Cognizant for about 2.5 years. And after Cognizant, I joined IMT for my MBA. I completed my MBA from IMT last year only. I passed out in 2021 with a specialization in marketing. And after that, I joined OYO as a product manager. So currently, I am a product manager at OYO. I am at OYO. I am part of the customer service product team.
So sir, like you mentioned that you have done your MBA from IMT Ghaziabad and it is one of the prestigious B schools of our country. So can you tell how was your experience there and like how it went and how you coped up with the pressure with lots of assignments and lots of deliverables from your end and how was your MBA journey in totality for the last? Can you
Yeah,
please throw
sure.
some
So
light?
obviously, I mean, as you know, like any MBA curriculum comes with its own set of challenges. So obviously, as you said, like it involves a busy schedule, and you need to manage a lot of things, do a lot of things together, manage your academics, do your project work, the academic projects, participate in case studies, prepare for placement. Also, if you're part of any clubs or committees, do that also. So obviously, I mean, time management is a challenge, but that is where the learning comes because before going to the corporate world, I think a B school actually prepares you with that very rigid schedule and with that putting you in a high pressure environment where you actually learn to cope up with pressure, how to manage deadlines, how to stick to your schedules. So yeah, for that one can follow different strategies like prioritizing tasks, dividing tasks into must do's, and then maybe tasks which they can put up for later. So dividing tasks as per priority. Also, I mean, preparing a very thorough schedule and then trying to stick to it as much as possible. So these are few of the strategies which can help one to manage time and cope up with the pressure. But again, I mean, that is where I think the learning opportunity comes.
Good to hear about your journey. And I hope, like right now, I'm also pursuing my MBA, so I can
Mm.
totally relate with it as well. So, sir, like before your MBA, you have worked at Cognizant as one of the programmer analysts, and you have worked it
Yeah,
for somewhere around 2.5 years, if I'm not wrong. So, sir,
yeah.
how was your experience there, and what were your roles and responsibilities there? Can you please throw some light on it?
Sure. So at Cognizant, I was in a service management role. So at Cognizant, I work for a US based client. So my role was to figure out different operational issues in the client product, analyzing the issues, then solving those issues from a technical point of view, and then reducing the service failures, uh, also improving the process efficiencies. Also, I at Cognizant I undertook various projects to automate various manual processes for the client. So those were some of the things I did in my role at Cognizant.
Then you did your MBA and now you are
Yeah.
here at university. Okay. So, sir, like, let me just come to the domain directly. Like, let me just ask you some domain-based questions since, like, our audience is the target audience is basically the MBA students who are upcoming and the people who are currently working in those domains. So, it's a very important question for them. Like, sir, can you please tell me, like, what was the most successful product you have managed till now, being a product manager, and what made it so successful?
So at OYO, I manage refunds. So I look after global refunds at OYO. As I said, I'm part of the customer service product team at OYO, and obviously refunds is one of the most important product in the customer service product portfolio, and so I look after that. So coming to, if you ask me, like the one of the most successful products I managed. So apart from refunds, I also manage some of the other products. So I look after the chatbot product at OYO, which is called EO. So it is also a very important product from an organizational point of view, because it addresses about 85%, more than 85% of the customer queries at OYO. Apart from that, I also look after an internal product called OYO Chat, which is essentially a chat platform, and which enables chat functionality between the hotel owners and the support agents. So these are few of the products I manage currently. But yes, if you ask me about the most successful product under me, then obviously I'll go for refunds, because in refunds, I think the product at OYO, the refunds product at OYO is designed in a way where it can actually address various unexpected issues for the customer. So I'll give you an example. So at OYO, we have this policy, like if someone faces a poor service at a particular hotel, so then he can actually come to the call center. He can actually call the call center, and then he can report that service issue, that poor service, and then in return of that, he gets some refund. So that the customer is happy at the end. So we have designed the product in a way where it is a very seamless process to actually detect such issues for the customer. The customer may not also have to call the call center every time. He can directly report the poor issue through the chatbot. The issue, if he's facing some issue with the service, he can report that through the chatbot. And then at the back end, we figure that out. If that we see like some of the customer has reported some issue, and then we loop in the subsequent, the hotel owner, and also loop in the customer to figure out like if the issue is genuine, and then consequently we refund the customer. So the product is designed in a way where there are two things. Obviously, figuring out the customer issues, allowing them to report the issue seamlessly is one thing. So the product is designed in that way, where he can, as I said, he can report the issue through call center and also through the chatbot. And then obviously, after he reports the issue, to detect any fraud. So we have also, put a sort of like build a mechanism in place where we actually, check for different parameters, the customer history and all, to detect whether there is any fraud. So it is a very robust product. And also, the good thing about the product is like, for example, the customer raises a refund request, and if somehow there is a glitch in the system and the refund request fails, so then we can automatically detect that, and then we can then automatically start the refund through an alternate mechanism without any human intervention. That is where I think the good part of the product comes. So considering various aspects, refund is obviously one of the This is just the example I gave, one of the example. There are also various other nuances of the product. So definitely, refund is obviously I will tell as one of the successful product I handle currently.
Got it. Got it. So, sir, one more question regarding that domain only. Like, what type of customer researches you conduct at OYO, and how often you conduct these researches?
So talking to customer is probably the most important job of any product manager. So he needs to be in constant touch with his customers. He need to go through the data. He need to understand the data, the different nuances of the data. He need to figure out different insights from the data. So about me talking to customers, so I like to do it very often. So I can randomly, reach out to any customer and then say talk to them. Say for example, some customer faced in recent issues, so then just reaching out to them and then figuring out what's the issue they faced. So those exercises I do very often. Maybe once in 10 days, or maybe twice. Twice or thrice in 10 days. So that I do on a regular basis. Also, apart from that, I also like to keep in touch with the different users of OYO from my own close circle, like maybe my friend, someone from my family, someone from my acquaintances, so that maybe informally I chat about them, like how, if they have visited OYO recently, then what are the issues they faced, and if how we can actually improve, what are their suggestion. If they visit, say some other competitors, if they have used some of the other competitors app, then what are the good things they observe. So those things I have regular communication with inside my close circle, and that actually helps me a lot. Like these informal discussions actually help you to get a lot of good ideas, and there are people around me who suggest me a lot of good things, like what we can do at OYO to improve the, as I said, like I am part of the customer service team, so what we can do at OYO to improve the customer service. So I think those things really help, and these exercises I do very often.
Sir, one more question would be like how you develop your product strategies and how often you release new features, like the frequency at which features are being released at OYO or any like organization in which you have worked in, like how you go about it personally.
Sure. So basically, while planning the product roadmap or the product strategy, then obviously as a product manager, as I said, like staying closer to the user is very important. Like you need to be very close to your users. You need to have regular communication with them, understand the issues they are facing, and then obviously you need to do sort of like competitive benchmarking. You need to go through the competitors' product, like similar products of other competitors. You need to understand like what are the good features, what the ideas which you can actually borrow from them, and maybe not only borrow but improve upon that. So by these exercises, one is talking to the users, and another is going to the competitors products, doing competitive benchmarking. So you gather a lot of ideas, and then obviously each of the ideas can lead to a new feature, and then you actually shortlist those features and see like which are the features which are actually moving the North Star metric of the product, because not every feature will actually move the North Star metric of the product, and this is figuring out, this is very important. Like maybe there can be, you can get say 10 ideas or 15 ideas, but when you sit and then decide like if out of those 15 ideas, how many are actually moving the North Star metric of the product, how many of those features will actually help me to achieve what I am trying to achieve through that product, the metrics I am trying to achieve. So how many of these features will actually help in that? So that exercise is very tricky, and doing that is very important. Then once we do that, we then shortlist the features, and then based on the impact and based on the effort it would require to build that feature, we then prioritize it. We then separate into buckets like P0, P1, P2, and then we prioritize it. So this is how we build our product strategy, product roadmap. And obviously, I mean, if you ask me like between two products, uh, if we need to decide like which one to invest more time, so that is actually decided on the current goal of the organization, or the severity of the problems which those respective products are solving. So keeping this aspect in mind, we decide the strategy. And obviously, I mean, about releasing features in a product, so there is no hard and fast rule. Again, many people may say like they would like to constantly improve the product and then release as many features as possible. I mean, go on releasing features, but I don't think that is a good strategy. So if your product is doing well, if the metrics of the product are all okay, and you are satisfied with that, then there is no point, I mean, um, changing anything and trying to fix something which is already working. So releasing features is only dependent on the fact if you need to solve a new problem with that product, then only you come up with a new idea, you release a new feature. Or maybe if you see like the product metrics you need to track on a regular basis, and if you see like there is a decline in the numbers, decline in the metrics, so then maybe to improve the metrics you need to release a feature and you need to figure out what's going wrong. But other than that, I don't think like you should release a feature because because you just have to, I mean, do it. So there should be a strong rationale behind releasing a feature.
Got it, sir. So now I'll be asking you a few questions regarding like how product management field gets revamped. Like I just wanted to ask you two things for our target audience basically. So one would be firstly like what skills one should possess to become a good product manager. And I know that deadlines play an important role. Like there are deliverables which should be meant to be delivered on time. So how one should go about it, and like what is your approach and how you prioritize your tasks? So please throw some light
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, sure. So see, I mean, coming to the skills of a product manager, I feel like I'll talk about three skills. Three, I think, one of most important skills. So one is definitely structured problem solving. One need to have a very structured approach while approaching any problem, because see, product management is all about problem solving, and you need to identify the core of the problem and then go deep into it, understand the various nuances of the problem very well, and then I mean, go for solving it. And without figuring out the problem correctly, you cannot solve it. So there are various approaches of I mean, while you are encountering a new problem and then conceptualizing a product. So there are various approaches, but your approach should be it should be very structured. So that is definitely one thing. I mean, depending on your understanding of the problem, you only come up with the subsequent, I mean, the metrics of the product. So having a structured thought process while you are analyzing a problem, that is very important. Then the second thing is obviously stakeholder management skills, because as a product manager, you need to work with a lot of stakeholders across the organization. You need to work with business team, you need to work with design team, you need to work with the engineering team, and there will be people with lot of suggestions, lot of opinions, and then you need to figure out like how to actually align all the stakeholders to your product vision. So stakeholder management is very tricky and one of the very important skill for any product manager, and that's why I mean, it's very important for product manager to have skills like communication skills, or maybe listening skills, listening to their stakeholders very well, evaluating their suggestions, and then sticking to the product vision, and then aligning everyone to that product vision. So those skills are very important. And as it is said, like product manager should be one who is able to influence people without authority. I mean, that is a common saying which goes, because product manager doesn't have much authority. Nobody actually reports to you. unless you are a product leader. So nobody from the engineering team or the design team actually reports to you, but you need to influence them. You need to, align them to your goal. Without having an authority over them. So again, stakeholder management is obviously the second thing. And the third thing which I'll talk about is ability to analyze and take data-driven decisions. I think this is very important, because many times there will be as I said, there will be these opinions, there will be suggestions from various stakeholders, and then you need to analyze very well, which are the suggestions you will actually take, and then you need to follow a very thorough data-driven approach. You cannot take uh, decision based on your intuitions. You need to follow a very data-driven approach, and obviously this is the third most important skill, like ability to analyze data and then take data-driven decisions.
So, like coming to our penultimate question. So, as we all know that it is very difficult for a fresher to directly get into the product management after his MBA, after his or her MBA. So, what should be the right pathway in your opinion, and how one should go about it? Like, because in my personal experience, like I have seen people after a certain experience of 3 to 4 years, they get into a role. Like if someone is not from a tier one or semi-tier to B school, then it gets very difficult to enter directly. So, what should be the process for such aspirants in people who are opting in for product management as a role?
Yeah, sure. So see, if you are, so obviously you can enter into product management through your campus, if there is a say campus hiring at your college. But if there is no campus hiring for this role, then obviously there are avenues to enter this role. It is not that you cannot enter. So you can there are multiple avenues. So I'll talk about few. So maybe initially you can try to get into a product analyst role. That is sort of like, that is easier to get into. So there is this multiple product first companies which have this product analyst role, and you can try to get into product analyst role. And getting into product analyst role is easier, maybe even if that company is not visiting your campus, then maybe through referral, or maybe applying to it separately. So you can try to get into product analyst role. If not product analyst, then at least try to get into business analyst role, because many company may not directly take you into a product analyst role. So then what you can do is like maybe try to get into a business analyst role, and then within the organization you can transition to a product analyst role. And obviously, I'm only talking about product first companies. And then once you are at a product analyst role in a product first company, then within the organization you can try to transition into a product management role. So that is a sort of career trajectory one can follow. I have seen people doing that. So that can be one avenue to enter into product management, if not through campus hiring. And obviously, there are other ways. So one of the easiest way, I think, these days, you can do some sort of like fellowship with entities like Next Leap, or take a course from Upgrad. So these are very well-known courses, well-known fellowships. So you can enroll there, and I have seen people enrolling in these sort of courses and then passing out from these courses, and many companies actually hire directly from there. So this can be one of the avenue and one of the easier avenues. So that one can do. And apart from that, obviously there are other ways, like maybe getting some internal referrals, or maybe doing some internship and then applying to companies. But I think comparatively these are the two easier ways to get into product management.
So, sir, any last minute tips for our upcoming product managers or MBA aspirants?
Yeah, I think to get into product management, as I said, so if you are getting if a company is coming to your campus for product management role, then that's fine, and then cracking that is one thing. And then if a company is not coming for a product management role at your campus, then you can get into through these avenues. Now I already talked about that. Now coming to the first thing, like if a company is actually coming to your campus for a product management role, then obviously the first step in cracking that process is, understanding the different types of questions which is asked in a product management interview. Now, product management interviews are all about cases. So you need to understand what are the different cases which are asked in product interview. So there can be multiple cases, multiple types of cases. Like there are cases based on like questions based on how you can improve your favorite product, or say any product, how you can solve a existing problem and improve a product, questions about launching a product, guesstimate based questions, market entry or strategy based questions, also go to market strategy based questions. So there are these different types of questions. So you need to have a very thorough understanding of the type of questions that are asked. Then go through each of the questions. There are these multiple portals in the web. You can just Google it, and you can go to any of these portals, understand the different types of questions asked, go through them. There are also books like there is one book, Decode and Conquer, which have a lot of good questions, so you can go through them. And then apart from that, I think you need to also have a basic understanding of tech, because product management involves a bit of tech. Not a bit of, I think as a product manager you need to have a good understanding of tech, rather. Because you will work with the developers, you need to have these day-to-day discussions with the developers for any of the issues in your product. So you need to have a good understanding of the tech. Some basic things like APIs and microservices, those things, if you know, then these things will be really helpful. Some of the applications of some emerging tech like blockchain or ML. So these things you need to have a basic understanding. And then obviously, giving mock interviews always helps. Giving mock interviews with seniors who are already in product roles. So those things will definitely help. And then, so these are few of the preparation strategies you can follow while preparing for a product role.
Thank you so much, sir. That answers all of our questions. And thanks once again for being our guest today. It was an honor for all of us to host you, and thanks for addressing once again.
A pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks.